Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you guys think about this one. Again, I'm willing to take comments, feedback, whatever else on this. However, I've got rebar on here. As you can see, they don't put T-blocks between this rebar, and some of these places require that this rebar be spaced the way it is, so they can offload it easier. Sorry if you don't have T-blocks on this. The rebar and that flat stock in the middle there. If you just throw a strap over that, nothing's holding that down. Absolutely nothing. Now, obviously, can it go side to side? Yeah, it can, insofar as it's going to hit the next set of rebar. But even then, you have to think about what your straps are doing when you put them over a load like this. What are they doing? They're squeezing that load together. It's not. I mean, yes, some of it's holding it down, but most of the pressure you put on a load, especially these low-profile loads like this, what it's doing is it's squeezing that product together. That's all it's doing. It's not holding that stock in the middle. And so when you have a situation where they won't put T-blocks in something like this, and like, oh yeah, all the other guys do it. Well, I would not be one of those guys. Sorry, call me paranoid, whatever you want to call me. I'm just not doing it. I'm going to weave the straps through. So as you've noticed already, what I'm doing here is I'm strategically, I'm taking just two straps, and I'm weaving two straps through to hold the stock in the middle. So you see there, I went under the first one, over the second one, under the third one, over the fourth one, under the fifth one. And then I'm going to do the exact opposite on the front. I'm going to go over the first one, under the second one, over the third one, and so forth. And that's exactly how we're gonna hold this down. So as you can tell, this is a major pain in the butt. It's something I don't do very often, so I'm not real great at it. But there you go. Not that I'm that great at anything anyway, but that's what we're shooting for here. And so when you weave those straps like that, at least you've got something holding those middle pieces down. And that's the best way I can figure doing that. If anybody's got any better suggestions on that, please let me know. But as far as I can tell, this is the best way to do it. So we're going to weave this strap. Again, we're going to go over the first one, under the second one, over the third one, under the fourth one, over the fifth one, etc. It's a little bit hard to see with my head cam there, but that's exactly what's going on there. You can kind of see, should be able to see what's happening there. I'm on top of that load, weaving them through. Got to be careful up there. Don't fall off your trailer, all that stuff. But this is what's got to be done. And as you can tell, I'm not the brightest bulb in the closet. So I think, oh, wait a second. No, that is no. Oh, no good. No good right there. Because guess what? My winch won't reach back that far. So either I've got to, so screw it. I got to redo it. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, so we're going to redo it so we get it right. I mean, that's the thing is, guys, you want to go down the road with peace of mind. You really do. To know that stuff's not going to be moving around on you. You're not going to end up with, a bundle of angle iron up in your cab. We don't want any of that. And that's why we're doing this. So I'm switching this one around so I can get it properly on a winch and get it secured properly. Now, honestly, the ones I'm worried about are those three inside bundles. So you notice I've got one long bundle of angle iron over there to the left-hand side of the trailer, or the driver's side of the trailer. Kind of got my hand on it right now. Then I've got two bundles of that flat stock. I think two bundles of it. Maybe I've got one. No, I can't tell. Yeah, I got one long bundle of that flat stock. All right, that one I am worried about. The two outs, and then I've got two bundles of rebar. Really, I've got, the rest of them are short bundles of rebar. All right, and so what I'm trying to do is make sure that those ones on the inside are taken care of. That's the biggest thing. That's what you got to watch out for on loads like this where you don't have the T-blocks. And I'm sure, hopefully you guys know about it. If you don't, you're brand new to this sort of thing. I mean, this might be the first place you show up to. And if it is, I hope you watch this video, because if they just put this on it and you throw a couple straps over it, more than likely you'll get down the road. But if you have an accident, if you have to stop suddenly, etc., etc., That stuff's not, that is unsecured. And if you get stopped by the police, they're definitely going to cite you for having unsecured material on your trailer. That's just plain and simple, because you can't just throw straps over this stuff and call it secured. They're not secured. Again, those straps squeeze stuff together. And what a T-block does is it sits, generally speaking, it sits on that piece of dunnage you see right there in the picture. It sits on that piece of dunnage between the bundles of steel, and it squeezes it together. So what happens is when you squeeze stuff together, then that prevents it from moving forward. That's just like on anything else you do, where you're using chains or whatever else that has multiple pieces per bundle, is you want to squeeze all that together, because what that's going to do is prevent it from moving forward. You're not so much worried about it moving upward. That part we've got covered. We can throw straps over stuff. We can throw chains over stuff all day long. But what we have to be worried about more than anything is stuff going forward. Because what's going to happen if some idiot cuts us off in traffic, we have to slam on our brakes, that stuff's going to want to go forward. So that's what you have to think about. Have I secured this load in such a way that this material is not going to go forward? All right. And therefore, probably kill you and everything, at least damage your truck severely. You're going to, you've seen those headache racks. I know you guys have, where guys haven't secured stuff. Particularly I-beams are the most notorious for this. They haven't secured stuff properly, and they end up with an I-beam going right in the back of those headache racks. Now, let me get back to this. And that's why they should have T-blocks on this stuff. They should. And that whole deal of, oh, well, guys go out of here all the time with it just like this, just throw a couple straps over them. Yeah, well, okay, I'm not the next guy. Just like I said before. Now, the biggest pain in the butt about this is getting those straps pulled as tightly as you can through that weave. Because what's going to happen is, even when we go over there and we start tightening down the other straps, it's not going to tighten down hard on those outside bundles. Okay, don't worry about that so much. Especially if you're doing a tarp job, definitely don't worry about it. If you've got you got an open load where it's exposing the straps where they could rattle and the popo could catch you on that might be a different story. There's solutions to that we can talk about another time. But what I'm trying to do is just pull that strap by hand as tightly as I possibly can, because once I put it in that winch, then it's not going to get much tighter on the other side. And that's okay, because the way those straps operate is what they're doing is they're cranking down on those middle pieces that I have that in. That's essentially what they're doing. And they might not be as tight on the outside pieces, especially where the hook is coming through the rub rail. They might not be as tight there as you normally would like a strap to be, but that's okay, because once we put our straps across the top, then we can start throwing straps across the top. Because kind of what we're doing is we're making all of these bundles of steel, right, that we have on this trailer, we're just making them one with the trailer. That's all we're shooting for. Okay, I do have 2 bundles of flat there. You see that? It's a crazy load. It's kind of a goofy load, but we're going to make it happen. So anyway, the point being, we're trying to make every piece of this steel one with the trailer. Then once we do that, we can throw all the straps we want to over the load. Everything's going to be fine after that. We don't have to worry about a thing. We're going to tarp this up, and we don't have to worry about it causing us problems going down the road. Hopefully this is making sense to you. And if you guys got questions about this, shoot me some questions on this. Been looking I've got a few questions from some of you so far, but yeah, you should care about what you're doing out here. You should care about what you're doing. So anyway, so we got the straps done. Now we got to tarp this. Why we're tarping rebar, I don't know. Maybe it's why we're tarping angle iron, I don't know. Maybe it's the flat stock. All I know is Nucor, this division of Nucor, requires you to tarp everything, so that's what we're going to do. And we get paid for it anyway, so who cares? So we got what I've done is I put the weave straps through there first, then I'm going to put my over straps, I don't know what you want to call them. The straps are just going to simply go over the load over there next. And so to tarp, of course, we got to get this felt down. Woo, allergy season. Yeah, we've got to get these felts down so we're not going to tear our tarp up. So basically, we've done the weave straps below. Now we're just going to do the over the load straps, however you want to call it. We're going to put our felts down and then do throw straps over them so those felts stay in place while when we throw the tarp over it. So we've got those in there tucked in nice and neat, trying to get them nice and neat. Then we're going to throw the straps over top of that, and then we'll be essentially ready to to tarp this load. We can feel good about the securement on it. We don't have to worry about it ripping up our tarps. We don't have to worry about it coming through the headache rack, tearing up our headache rack, any of those other things. And that's what we're shooting for here. It's a pain in the butt. And like I say, I confuse myself half the time about, okay, I'm weaving them through here, because it's just not something you do very often. And takes a long time, and you know, somebody might make fun of you. Whoa, what are you doing? Well, making sure this load's secure. That's what I'm doing. So, at any rate, that's the long and the short of it. Basically, all I'm gonna do now, straighten these felts out, throw my straps over the top of this, and then the load's secured. Then all I got to do is tarp, and we're happy-go-lucky, ready to go. We don't have to worry about anything going wrong here. Right, so that's it. That's all there is to it. Gonna throw those straps over top, you know, according to the regulations, 8 to 10 feet apart. Basically, is what we're shooting for here. I try to get them. Try to place my. That's just one little tip there. I might give to you, another hack for you. Try to place my dunnage where I want to throw straps, because it doesn't do very much good to put straps in the middle of steel, especially like rebar stuff that's buttery like that. It's just gonna bend down. It's gonna go. Like that, and what are you doing? Well, you're throwing it off the dunnage. That's all that's going on there. So you want to get your straps as close to the dunnage. I know you guys know this, but it's a good reminder. Don't get lazy about that. And really, I would say that's all there is to it, but this is a major pain in the butt. As you've seen, this video is taken, you know, well, and you're not even seeing the full thing. This took me a good, 20, 30, 40 minutes to get all this done. And it shouldn't take that long. I'm slow. I tend to be a little bit slow. I'd rather get things right than be fast. I like to get things right and be fast. And like, if you guys watch any of my previous videos, what I talk about is do stuff right. The speed will come. Do stuff right and the speed will come. That's always what we're shooting for here. But at any rate, that's really the deal. It's a pain in the butt, but that's the only way I can think to secure steel bundles like this. If you guys have better ideas, please let me know. But there is how I do this type of scenario where I've got bundles of steel, multiple units without T-blocks in it. Okay, there it is. Let's move on to our philosophy of the week. We're going to listen to Thomas Solby interviewed on the firing line. So here we go with that.